Alright, now, I don't know what the 9-to-5ers have to say. I don't know what the streamers have to say, or the content creators. I might even rope in the YouTubers when we looking at these comments, right? I'm expecting to see a whole bunch of y'all in these comments going crazy, right? Defending y'all industry. You know what I'm saying? C.O.S-Play take. Let's dive in.
Sweet pea till life humble me from the sea, yeah. Mercurial blood vessels, my skin do shine. The son of the God it under my home is disguised. I had to argue with niggas, you pay no man. Heard me pack on you boys, I ain't telling no lie. Yeah, lie.
Alright, man. C.O.S-Play take. Yeah, we just chopped up the 9-to-5 workers versus streamers debate, you know, and what they believe is the harder industry to get into or to deal with, or whatever like that, right? Let's dive right into these comments. 20% debate, 80% rage baiting. Oh yeah. You don't have to deal with chat spamming L's. Oh my god, they don't know that pain, right? They don't know the pain of chat spamming L's. The pain of chat criticizing shit you're fit. Come on with it. It still takes an emotional toll. Same emotional kind of intensity that, you know, is required to deal with maybe emotional effects, you know, after being retrenched. I lived with my mom as a kid. That's a privilege. Oh yeah. See this one right here? It left me not understanding, bro. They were like, that first girl, bro, that first lady, she was like, yo, that's a privilege. You're 15 years old. You had a job. Like, yo, I was streaming, doing this, that, and the third, but I was living with my mom. Oh, that's privilege. It's like, what are we talking about, bro? The man is 16. Well, the boy is 16. They're supposed to be at home, right? They're supposed to be living there. I'm pretty sure they're, you know, they're like one of those parents. I'm sure she's probably like one of those parents that's, you know, that deserves an award for being a parent. You know, those parents that like have the nerve to tell their kids, yo, dude, like, I raised you, I clothed you, I fed you. It's like, bro, that's what you had to do, right? That's what you had to do. I don't know why you bringing it up like in the form of trying to be awarded for that. You understand what I'm saying? Hey, I know y'all have heard the whole statement, I didn't even ask to be here. Yeah. I don't think anybody in the room hit a crane shot. The hell is a crane shot? The lady in the back not allowed to laugh at home. What are you talking about? Adapt using COD terms like they understand what he's talking about is hilarious. Yeah, and that's the thing with like these streamers, bro. They live in their own bubble, bro. They're like, yo, let me just use my own language that my people will get. And it's like, you know, the older people not understanding that it's part of the, you know, it's part of the fun. It's part of the funny moments. You gotta understand these people are clip farmers. It is hilarious for them to, you know, use their own sort of terminology and slang in front of these old people, but it's like, it's nothing but clickbaiting, right? Lady in the back laughing. Alright, it's quite a dry. Are we back? We back. Literally had to hold on. Literally had to just hold my horses. Okay, if we back, right? If we're not back, that's a big L in the chat. Fuck it. But if we're back, yo, what I was trying to say, you went to school to be a content creator, streamer university. Look, yes, that was meant to be like a clip that's farmed. You know what I'm saying? It was meant to be this little funny moment. But you know, the whole dismissing the content creator because there's nothing that they're learning, because there's no formal school. Shout out to what Streamer University is doing, because I feel like Kai Cenat doing that enough times might get people formalizing the whole experience, formalizing the whole thing. You know, they're gonna have no choice but to, you know, create real qualifications that you could like attain from Streamer University. You know what I'm saying? To a point where, hey, it might not be ran by Kai anymore, or Kai and Kai's team, but you know what I'm saying? Maybe it might be in the hands of some powerful guy out there who bought the IP from Kai, and then now it's a whole formal schooling sort of system, right? It might get there, but I feel like there's a whole lot of things that still, you know, streamers learn along the journey of perfecting the craft of streaming, right? Let's be real, there's a whole lot of complex things that come into like just broadcasting a stream. You know what I'm saying? The FPS, what does that mean again? Frames per second, the bit rates, the, you know what I'm saying, dealing with lagging, dealing with the sound, you know what I'm saying, being able to just like do all these kind of things, man. You know, work the functionalities of these different apps that you can utilize to stream. That whole little backpack thing that they be crying about, these streamers talking about it costs an arm and a leg and shit like that. Yo, that shit, you know, that shit gotta be complicated in terms of operating that thing. So there's a whole lot of things that you do learn, bro. So now I feel like, yes, we should consider the fact that, yo, our world has gotten to this point of taking this physical education, you know, paper that you were qualified for, right? That you went through the whole schooling system just to get qualified with, and you know, they're using this paper. People are putting so much importance on this piece of paper that, you know, your alternative ways of learning, of educating yourself on some shit, those are thrown out the window. And that's kind of crazy if you ask me. That's so crazy, bro. It's a whole lot that a creator gets to learn, you know, by the time that they get to their million subscriber mark, or you know, 150,000 people in the chat while you're streaming. It's a whole lot of things that you have to go through, like trials and errors and things like that, right? So for me, like, if you ask me personally, that's still a way of learning. You know what I'm saying? That's still a way of educating yourself about this, about what goes into this industry that you're a part of, bro. You understand what I'm saying? The amount of rage baiting in this is just epic. And here's one thing that I don't get about older people that do these traditional thing, you know, traditionalists, people that still do these or put high value in not traditional 9-to-5s, and you know, play it safe in life. You know what I'm saying? 401k, that's it, that's life. It's like these kind of people, whenever their ideas are challenged, and whenever the times of, you know, the current times support their ideas being challenged, it's like they kind of switch on to that emotional rage. You know what I'm saying? Their emotional rage is just like their, not even rage, but emotional sensitivity to the fact that, oh my god, you're questioning the ways that things have been. How dare you? It's like, no, but there literally is a lack of value, right, in those ways. Well, of course, from the POV of the youngins, the people that are getting it right quick, right fast, big, you know what I'm saying? So that's one pattern that I've, you know, I never gotten the chance to just like wrap my understanding around when it comes to the older people. Brother Unk's so bad at arguing, they got me thinking the rage bait is the correct stance. Yeah, just bitter old people, bro. Like, you know, what made this situation like a thing? The woman laughing about Lacey doing a double shift at Walmart and Panera, acting like she didn't work as a school lunch lady. You know, it's, you know, it might just come off of the fact, like her life, the fact that she ain't had to go through those kind of situations. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes it's like, it's the smooth journey of somebody who was in school, you know what I'm saying, did the whole NPC hood type shit, you know, followed instructions, you know what I'm saying, went against just like her own body, her own being, her own you know, her own visions of what she was desiring in life. She had to, you know, put in the hard work to go against her own self, so that she's at a position where, yo, right after my college qualification for becoming this lunch lady or whatever, their qualification to be a lunch lady or some shit like that. Like I wouldn't know, right? But it's like, you know, after that she went on and got the position generically, you know, got the position to become the lunch lady. She did not have to necessarily go through having to work a double shift for her own survival or whatever, or to secure her own future. She didn't have to do, you know, different, or tap into different work industries just to, you know, make sure that, yeah, like, she's smooth and she's okay one day. You know what I'm saying? She didn't have to go through the uncertainty of a 9-to-5 industry, dog. You know what I mean? So I feel like to some of these 9-to-5ers that just had to deal with, I mean, you hear stories about people that had to stay in 9-to-5 positions for like decades, bro. You understand what I'm saying? They stay in there for decades, and then it's like, yo, that's the only thing that they had to do. That's what maybe I think a streamer would see easier about this 9-to-5 thing. It's like, yo, dog, you just had to do one thing, bro. Simple thing, one task. Simple thing, buddy. One task. That's all I want you to do. You feel me? And then it's like, yo, of course it sounds crazy, the fact that there's human beings that have to just like work double shifts while they try and make their dreams come true out there somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Somehow. You know, like it's genuinely funny to these people, and you know, I guess it's debates like this that try and give different perspectives to these kind of people, right? That are just like quick to laugh at somebody else's reality and pain and shit. Nah, they really just rage baited seniors for 45 minutes. Yo, Silky. Yeah, Silky freaking did the whole rage bait thing. I think Silky got that chip on his shoulder to be like, yo, ain't no old motherfucker gonna tell me that what I'm doing is not the one. It's like, bro, come on, dog. You know what I'm saying? You could tell this was probably his attitude, shit, since middle school, probably. Fuck. Yo, Silky was MVP rage baiter, I'm not gonna lie. Right? All the rage baiting was so legendary, but you can tell at the end that Adapt and Swag were genuinely making valid points, and we're being serious, and the old people weren't taking it serious. How old is are they part of the older guys? Phase Adapt and Phase Swag. Wait, let me try to find that out. Let's quickly find out. 27. So he's millennial, and that's of course if, you know, this Google search is not lying to me. And who's the other one? Swag. 27 as well. So these is millennials, bro. And you know why I'm bringing this up? Because when we talking about millennials and people who actually have had to juggle both realities, right? Making your dreams come true while, you know, you're probably stuck in your mother's basement. You feel what I'm saying? Dealing with the pressure of, yo, dude, I cannot even handle one more year of you living under my roof. You gotta go get a job. You know what I'm saying? The millennials have been those people, because, you know, it's the generation that had to have experienced transitions within paradigms, so to speak, going from the analog world into the digital world, you know what I mean, and them being like growing up when this transition was happening. So they had to adapt to the reality of just like, yo, this online thing, and I can make myself someone out of this thing. They were like a little older, you know what I'm saying? They probably had to ask for video game consoles from their parents like at age 15, maybe 12, you know what I'm saying? Maybe 19, I don't know. Okay, 19, you're a grown-ass man, you gotta be out the house hustling for that shit for you. So, 14, 13, bro. And then you get Gen Zs. Gen Zs were like gifted with gaming consoles, during their 5th birthdays, during their 2nd birthdays. You know what I'm saying? So they like their understanding, Gen Zs that is, understanding of the world was just these video games. It's like, yo, there's nothing else to do. Whereas you get Adapt and Swag, right? They making valid points because they had to literally go get a job, like on some genuine vibe. Not on some, yeah, let's try this thing out. Maybe you might pop off just getting a job. Okay, I don't know who thinks that way. But, it wasn't like, yo, it's like, bro, you gotta get your ass up, go work, bro. Go do what we've been doing in this family household since great grandma and them. Go get a job. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, you're like, yo, but there's this emerging world that I can like, please just give me a console. Let me show you that I can, you know what I'm saying? We can really make something out of myself. It's like, nah. So they what did they do? I feel like they were at a point where they did go get these jobs. Adapt and Swag. You feel what I'm saying? How old is Silky? Silky might be younger than 27, right? Maybe 26, 25. Like, he part of Gen Z. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just talking about the portion of these younger millennials that were part of, well, that are part of this streaming thing, the streaming reality. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why their points may be valid and genuine, and they may bring like real life experiences and scenarios and memories from like how they had to build they selves up, right? They current selves up. Adapt hit him with the, I don't know if you'll ever wrap your head around it. Yeah. You don't know how Hitmakers, wait. You don't know how Hitmakers is the realest shit I ever heard. Don't know what that is. Yo, my mouse is bugging out, bro. I need to upgrade my whole setup actually. Except my tower, right? Except my PC tower. Everything else has to be upgraded, man. From my mouse. Might as well get new headsets, dog. I don't like the overhead shits no more. So I might just get some in-ears, you know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, I gotta get me a new projector to display my PC. Like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe get a bigger light instead of having like, I got like tiny lights, just to get the whole lighting going on. It's crazy, but you gotta start somewhere, right? They somehow managed to get the best people to misrepresent the actual 9-to-5 workers. Ooh. For real? They got the wrong people to misrepresent 9-to-5 folks. I wish you would have elaborated on that a little bit more, right? That's something interesting to say, I'm not gonna lie. Being a 9-to-5 worker is harder than being a streamer, but becoming a streamer is a lot more harder than becoming a 9-to-5 worker. Wait, let me break that down slower. Right? Being a 9-to-5 worker is harder than being a streamer, but becoming. Yo, look, I feel like at this point it's just a conversation of, the trade-off. Where does the trade-off happen? When does the trade-off happen? You know what I'm saying? When we're taking a look at 9-to-5, like the trade-off, obviously is like, it comes at the cost of you wanting or desiring to do what you would rather do with your life. Constantly telling yourself like, yo, I'd rather be elsewhere doing something else with my life than being at this place right now, at this job right now, slaving away like this right now. You know what I'm saying? But then, you do get your And this is a point that they, you know, the streamers were bringing up a lot. The fact that you got benefits, bro. You got a job security. You got guaranteed salary. You feel what I'm saying? Yes, there's that, but it comes at the cost of going against yourself. You know what I'm saying? To keep responsibilities going, to keep, you know what I'm saying, living your life or keeping afloat. You know what I mean? And you know, and this is just the traditional idea. I don't think things like this are guaranteed in today's modern job marketplace. You know, the guaranteeing of excuse me, the guaranteed 401k, the guaranteed, you know, big ass stipend by the time you retire. You know what I'm saying? That whole reality has deflated, right? Shrunk more and more. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how people feel about that, but that's the trade-off, right? And then, but then the trade-off within the streaming and content creation shit is, yeah, facing those nights, those days where you can go like weeks, nigga, months with those no views. You know what I'm saying? With the no view reflections off of your analytics. Or, you know what I'm saying, you're streaming to literally 0 to 2 people for like damn months. 0 to like 8 to 12 people, I don't know, for months. Ain't no bag coming out of that. There ain't no bag coming out of that. You know what I'm saying? Well, with the streaming thing, it might be different because those 12 people may start just like donating their money to. But you know, for the fact that you still have 12 people in your thing, it's not attractive enough to for those 12 people to be like, it's still potential. So those 12 people might not be as confident being like, yeah, he deserves my money right now. You know what I'm saying? So it is work, bro. Like the trade-off is the fact that, yeah, you have to sacrifice all that time where it's like you'd wish things could be working, but they're not. And then you have to just like sit there with yourself, with your challenged self, with your challenged mind. Damn, I really made this decision, but it seems like nothing is working. And even after shit works, it's like things go, it's a unpredictable dynamic type situation, right? The money may be good 1 month, for the next, I don't know, X amount of months, multiple months consecutively, shit may be in the red. You feel what I'm saying? Now you gotta figure out how to stay afloat. So, you know what I'm saying? That challenges you to open your mind into other kind of opportunities to invest in. Because this shit, it's nothing but just another investment, bro. It may go south. You understand what I'm saying? So the becoming a streamer, that's the devil, right? To a certain degree. But these are kind of like the demons that we gotta overcome. Okay? Yeah, I feel that. I feel like that's the most balanced comment that we've seen today, right? So far. Adept explaining these 9-to-5 workers about trick shotting, hit makers, and crane shots is platinum comedy. Yeah, right. The conversation alone is blowing my mind. A 16-year-old should be living with their parents, bruh. They should be. What do you mean? If they don't have that, we are now talking about what? At-risk youth. Oh, not 9-to-5 workers. Him being privileged to live with his mom, but her not being privileged to fly with what? Yeah, my screen is just like, it's very discouraging doing this shit, bro. Yeah, y'all can see the